Okay, what I want to do in this tutorial is I want to create a second HTML page. And then what I want to do is on our first page, I want to have an anchor tag. And when the user clicks on that, we go to our second page. And then on the second page, let's create a link back to our first page. Okay, so maybe we'll continue with the donuts location. So we will say, like, we're going to call our website like Imperial Donuts Toronto. So I'm changing the title, right? Imperial Donuts Toronto. And then what I want to do is just say our maybe Toronto locations. Okay, so we're just pretending we work for a donut store for some reason. And now what I want to do is let's create an anchor tag that goes to like a New York location. Okay. Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to create a second page. So we just say like second page dot html or something like that. Okay. So second page dot html, and we'll just use our HTML:5 shortcut to create a very basic page. And in here, we're going to call it our like New York location in the title. And we'll just create a H1 and we'll say like New York, New York location. Okay. And we'll just create a paragraph, so something like, the Big Apple is amazing. Okay. So let's now save and refresh. Okay. We don't see our second web page at all because we haven't linked to it. So let's create a link to it. Well, the key thing is the second page, this HTML document, is in the same folder or the same file directory as our index.html page. So this will be quite straightforward to link to. Always remember, when you're creating a link, we know we need to have an opening and closing anchor tag. Okay, so let's say like link to our New York page or second page. Okay, it's up to you. Sorry, link to our New York page or second page or website. Okay, so we've created the anchor tags. We haven't provided the href yet, so nothing happens. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to provide that href, right? So we just got to say href, and then what we can do is, because we're in the same file directory, we can use dot notation /, and it's going to look inside the folder for us, this folder here, and I can just link to the second page. Okay, so if I now save and refresh, this should now link to our second page. So we're on the Canadian or Toronto page. If we click here, we're now on the New York location. Okay, awesome. Now, I don't want the user to have to click the back arrow to go back to the Canadian location. Let's create a link on our second page. Okay, so let's go to our second page.html, and we'll say like something like, check out our Toronto stores, right? So check out our donut stores in Toronto. Canadians say Toronto rather than Toronto. Um, okay, so now we got our anchor tag, but it doesn't link anywhere, right? So we got to use the href. So we can just say href is equal to dot notation / and it's going to look for us, and we're going back to the main page. Okay, so the main page has a name of index.html. See it there, right? That's the one we're working for. So now if we save and refresh, we should be able to go back and forth between the two pages. So check out the donut stores in Toronto. We're now in the Canadian location, and then link to our second or page or New York page, and then we go to New York. Okay, awesome. And then just so you are aware, because we're in the same file directory, we don't actually need to use the dot / notation. So if I just remove that for both, that should still work. Okay, let's just save and refresh. Okay, that brings us to Toronto, and then that brings us back to New York. Okay, okay, awesome. So that is how you can basically send a user to a second web page of your site, once again using the anchor tags. Okay, awesome. I'll see you in the next one.